Well, shit. I'm recording now, I think. And I'm just sitting in my chair here. I've been wanting to do an episode, a solo episode, just kind of doing this, what I do. I had no idea what it was going to be about, and I still kind of don't. It's kind of word vomity, but I know I didn't, right now, as of the time of this recording, it's Thursday, and that's probably when I'm going to post this, to be honest. I'm just going to record it, not edit it, because I don't really have to, and just post. But I didn't post anything yesterday. Normally I post an episode. Normally it's an interview every Wednesday at around 4 p.m., which I think, by the way, that time is changing. This is just an update, really. But and kind of some thoughts about where I'm at. But I think I'm changing the time, not the day. I think I'm going to try and do every Wednesday, but I think I might actually do Wednesdays at like 6 p.m. my time instead of 4. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I want everybody to be able to tune in to the live premieres, maybe even 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time would probably be better, just so that more people can kind of pop into the live streams. Like, I'm just playing with different times and trial and error, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. It just, in general, trial and error with things. I had 2 interviews this week. One with Taden Bundy. That episode, it went really well. We spoke for like an hour and a half about like ghost stories and ghost hunting and paranormal activity, and it was fucking dope. It was a nice release from talking about all the serious subjects that I love to talk about, but sometimes they can get heavy. And when you have multiple interviews in a week, when you're filming, when you're filming more than one interview in a week, it can become a lot energetically, especially when the topics are very, very heavy. So it was nice to kind of talk to him and talk about, like, just shoot the shit, really. Like, it kind of just felt like I was Zoom calling with a friend. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. And I recorded the entire episode. By the way, if you hear anything in the background, it's my mother. She's working from home, so she's talking to people, probably complaining about her job. Don't mind her. But I went through that whole episode, an hour and a half of recording that episode, that Zoom call. I had this microphone. If you're watching me on YouTube, I had this microphone that's in my face right now that I'm recording on. I was talking into to have the sound be nice. And an hour and a half later, after the call ended, I tried to watch it back and realized I wasn't using this microphone. I was using my computer microphone to talk. So that episode's audio might not be perfect, and it's definitely not going to be good on my end, to be honest. I think Taden's audio is actually, like, on his end is going to be better. So just beware of that. It's still a really good episode. I'm still going to put it out as an episode. It's a really great episode. These things happen. Everything is a learning experience. And I think that is what this episode is going to be about, is that everything in life is a learning experience. And just even if you think you got it all fucking together, we don't always have it all together. We are all works in progress. We can't ever reach, if you ever reach a point in life where you're like, I'm done learning, then you have to question where you're at in life and why you're done learning. If you're done learning, you should be dead. That's my personal opinion, because you should always be learning in life, whether it's learning about something academically or about yourself or about somebody else or a relationship. You should always be learning and growing and progressing, right? And so that was a learning experience for me. I kind of realized at that point I should have backups, many, many more backups than I give myself credit for, because shit happens, man. Shit happens. Nothing is going to go perfectly in these types of things, in any type of situation, but especially when you're trying to do something like this, film a show, essentially. So I kind of realized after the fact that I have to have a backup recording and stuff like that. And so then I had my interview the next day with Jane Epstein, who is a sexual assault, sexual abuse survivor, and she told her story, and I'm so excited for that to drop. And I wanted to drop it yesterday because normally I, just for the sake of having an episode for you guys, but then I thought about it, and I really, really want people to watch this episode, and I didn't feel like I had enough time to promote it to you guys. So I didn't. I made the executive decision to just not release an episode on Wednesday. And I know I may be all over the place and stuff like that. I'm trying to, at the very least, post a video on this YouTube channel somewhat daily, definitely more than once a week. And so this episode is taking the place of the Wednesday episode. This Thursday episode is taking the place of that Wednesday episode. But you know, it's all a process. It is all a process. And literally right now, look, as I'm fucking speaking, my first camera has died. So now I'm going to set up, as I'm talking, I'm going to set up a second camera, my backup camera. And this is why we have backups. You know what I'm saying? For these types of situations when they occur. And that's totally okay in life. Nothing in life is perfect. But I feel as though right now my shtick, I'm just going to continue to use that word. My shtick in life is getting a backup, you know what I mean? And also realizing that I'm a human being and I make mistakes and I fuck up and I'm not going to be perfect and everything is trial and error, you know? Please hold while the Nextel subscriber you are trying to reach is located. Here I am. And I'm looking at the camera to see how much more battery we have on this camera. And it seems good. So here we are. What was I gonna say? This is a prime example of how my fucking week has been going. You know, I was trying to film an episode yesterday just to kind of give an update on where I'm at with everything. And I realized that I had a booklet of memory cards, three of them, that I fucking misplaced. It's somewhere in here in this house, but I don't know where it is. And in order to film, I needed that memory card. So I'm very scatterbrained lately. If you've reached out to me and I haven't answered or whatever, it's because I kind of just am trying to like center, you know? And I think that realistically, aside from also trial and error and work in progress, is another lesson from this week. It's that we have to slow the fuck down. You know, sometimes, I'm going to be completely honest, there are times that I have so much going on that I feel like I'm trying to drink water from a fire hose. You know, and that is a lot. You know, if you've ever seen a fire hose and how much pressure comes out of the fire hose, there's no way that you could drink water out of that safely, you know? So that's how it feels, because you have, you know, this person wanting to do a collab with you and trying to post a video here at this time and this, you know, about this and film this podcast episode. You got 2 interviews this week. You have this person trying to reach out to you, get you to promote their product, and this person trying to get you to, you know, it's just everybody trying to get you to do fucking something. You know what I mean? And realistically, the only thing that I'm trying to do is this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, of course, make this a sustainable living so that I can do this full time. And in the meantime, all the while trying to make that happen, I'm also trying to come up with some sort of structure, workable structure that's good for me, good for you guys. And it's a lot. It can be overwhelming. It's a good overwhelming. I still wake up fucking fired up. I wake up ready, looking forward to doing all of this. You know, this is a dream of mine, of course. But I also want it to be meaningful, and I want everybody to get something out of it, you know. And that's why I do these episodes too, where I kind of just talk about my lessons and things that I've learned throughout the week or 2 weeks, things that have happened to me, you know, that might shed some insight for somebody else. The moral of this week, the underlying theme that I have noticed the universe is trying to tell me, and thank you to Danny for kind of bringing this out, because, you know, she's been definitely a person that I can go to and talk to about some stuff, and she's just like, dude, okay, you lost your SD cards and you can't film. You're not able to find them. What is the lesson here? What is the universe trying to tell you? And she's like, sit down, sit quietly in your room, in your space, in a moment for yourself, and either retrace your steps and try to find this fucking this booklet of SD cards, or try and figure out what it is you need at this moment, because maybe this is more than SD cards. And then I thought about it, and I was like, listen, the underlying theme here is don't bite off more than you can chew just because you feel as though you need to be busy all the time. You might think that is productive. You might think that is helping you, but it's actually counterproductive, because when you have all of these things being thrown at you at once, you start forgetting the priority, you know, and important things like a booklet of SD cards that you need to record a podcast, you lose, and it may cost you. And it did. I had to go to the store. I had to stop everything yesterday. I went to the store. I had to spend $130 on SD cards and a new booklet of SD cards to keep them in, and in hopes that I don't lose this one. You know what I mean? And I don't think I will. But it's just a testament to not irresponsibility, not lackadaisicalness, but taking on too much, more than is necessary, more than is needed. You know, building a house. Okay. I watched a really great video. One of my favorite people in the world is Will Smith. I think that he's just a very intelligent, emotionally intelligent human. And when he speaks, I think he has this charisma about him that makes people, even people with small, tiny attention spans, want to listen to what he has to say, you know? And he's so insightful. And I've watched a couple of videos with him. And he says, you know, when he was younger, his father took him and his brother to his father's shop, and he busted down this big wall, and you know, one whole side of the shop or something like that. And he said, okay, rebuild it. And Will and his brother looked at each other, and they were like, what the fuck? What is this guy fucking crazy? This is impossible. And the father said, nothing's impossible. Rebuild it. And so they went every single day, or whatever, however long it took, and laid one brick at a time until the wall was built. And so the fact is, we may be looking at a mountain thinking, how do I climb this? How do I build this wall? How do I conquer this beast? And the answer is one tiny step at a time. Don't try to take every fucking thing on. Don't try to, if you don't have time to do something, even if you want to do it and you don't have time because there are other things that you need to prioritize, like in my case, this podcast, you guys, the patrons, I don't want to let you guys down, you know, or be absent in that, because ultimately this is my goal. So the idea is to focus. Ask yourself, and I have to tell myself this. Of course I have to tell myself this. What do I want? What are the 3 top things that I want to focus on? Those 3 things I need to double down on, and everything else needs to fall to the wayside. You know, this is number 1. This podcast, this YouTube channel, what I'm trying to do here, this is number 1, right? And then 2 and 3, I don't know, I'll fucking figure it out. But if number 1 is this podcast, and I'm taking on so much that I'm so fucking distracted and I can't keep my attention onto one fucking thing because everything's being thrown at me here, there, everywhere, right? So much so that I lose 3 important tools that I need in order to film this podcast. Well, then that means that I need to take a step back and reassess and reprioritize. And that was my lesson for yesterday. And I know y'all are probably thinking like, bitch, you just lost some shit. It'll resurface, whatever. But to me, it's a lesson. To me, it's a message from the universe telling me, slow the fuck down, take it easy, do what you have to do for what you set yourself out to do. You know what I mean? What you are setting out to do is create a podcast, create a movement with the podcast, create awareness on certain issues, talk to really dope fucking people. That should be priority number 1. Number 1, period. And not that I wasn't prioritizing, but I was distracted, and in that distraction misplaced some shit that was useful. You know, this shit was supposed to be filmed yesterday, and probably would have been posted yesterday, Wednesday, which is the normal day for postings, right? Then I have to think about this, you know, my patrons, the people who are patrons, who are signed up to, you know, get early access to videos and stuff like that. You guys are supporting me and genuinely helping me way more than you guys realize. And I want to give back to you any way that I can, i.e. early episodes and, you know, live streams, exclusive live streams for patrons only and stuff like that I haven't even done yet, you know, giveaways, whatever it is, right? And how can I do that if I am focused on all of these other things, just spreading myself way too thin? You know what I mean? So it's like I did this, you know, didn't plan ahead. And I think that's another thing I need to start doing is fucking planning ahead. I mean, I have been obviously scheduling interviews and stuff like that, but instead of these solo episodes, I know I have to come up with more ideas for solo episodes so that I'm just not like randomly like sitting down talk, like rambling like I'm doing right now, you know? But it's like right now I haven't posted on Wednesday. You guys expect a video on Wednesday, which the patrons expect the episode to drop on Tuesday. So already we have now Tuesday and Wednesday. Patrons haven't gotten anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's stressful for me. And I know you guys might watch this and think, bitch, relax. You're doing the best that you can. You're giving us enough, this and that. And I know you guys think that way, will say that, whatever it is. But to me, for me, it's a transaction. I'm promising you guys early access to videos, and if I'm behind, then I'm not giving you early access to videos, and I don't like that, you know. So right now I'm in the process of just kind of reassessing, trying to come up with a plan for myself, and that's it, you know. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to structure this in the best way that I possibly can without losing my fucking mind in the process, you know. I'm already an absent-minded fucking human being. And then to have all of this responsibility kind of be put onto me, and then to lose 3 SD cards that were necessary to film. You know, I have a camera here that fucking died. Like, fuck my life. But now I have this camera that needs an SD card. That's 2 SD cards. Then I have my mixer that needs an SD card. Like, everything needs, like, it might seem small, but these things are very fucking important. And so I have to be more centered and focused. It's not necessarily, I'm unorganized or whatever. I have to be more focused and kind of 1-track, 2-track minded, and that's it. Stop trying to take on a bunch of shit. That is the lesson for this week. And I don't know if anybody else feels that same fucking way, but that's it. You know, at the end of the day, you guys are witnessing, and I've been saying this, but you guys are witnessing this trial and error shit right before your eyes. You know, in a year from now, I hope we can all look back and think, wow, remember when I was a fucking hot mess express and like was trying to figure all this stuff out, and you know, a year from now it's like, oh, and look at me now, I have a whole podcast studio, and like, you know, like a mini Joe Rogan podcast studio where guests come and everything's, you know, I have a producer for the show and stuff like that. Like, hopefully in a year from now, that's where I'm at. Right now, I'm doing it all by myself, and I'm trying to figure it all out. And I love the process. I'm not sitting here, this is not a complaint at all. I love this. I wake up every single day thinking, what am I going to do today? What creative thing am I going to give to these people every single day? What am I going to give of myself to you guys today? Whether that's me sitting here and fucking shooting the shit with you guys, talking about where I'm at with the podcast and this journey that I'm on, or a fucking video of a song that I made a year ago that's 3 minutes long. Whatever it is, I enjoy this. I fucking live for this. I live for this. No cap. Absolutely no cap whatsoever. And you know, I wouldn't want it any other way. I just have to structure it better. And that's on me. That's not on anybody else. There's not anything that anybody can do to help that. That is a me thing. You know, there's only so much people can do on the other side. At the end of the day, I have to, again, this podcast is about accountability. I have to take accountability for myself and my dreams and where I'm headed. And that's a me thing. That's a Tori thing. And so I know exactly now, like, what I have to do. And it's crazy, but literally losing those 3 SD cards fucking gave me that insight. It sounds ridiculous, but that's it, you know? That is the lesson. This is going to be a very short episode because I feel like it's just like cut through all the red tape right to the fucking point. To relate this to you guys, if you're trying to do anything in life, right? Whether that's be a fucking mother or you're just, especially you women, a lot of people who follow me, most of the people, if not all of the people who follow me are women. Y'all are jugglers. We are jugglers as human beings. Women juggle the kids, the laundry, the cooking most of the time. You know, I mean, if you have a husband or a spouse that takes care of that, more power to you. But most of the time, women are juggling it all. Working full time, coming home, cleaning, cooking, taking care of the kids, nurturing, being a partner for somebody else. We are fucking jugglers, right? And some of those things, obviously, most of those things we can't just be like, not gonna fucking do that. But the thing we should be doing is prioritizing. What's most important? I see my sister. My sister's got OCD. She would work full time. I would watch the kids. during the day. She would work full time, come home after being away from the kids for 8 hours. The kids would run right up to her, and in her head, because she has OCD, she would have to vacuum the minute she walked into the house, clean. And then there are your kids that look forward to seeing you and want to spend time with you, and you're out here fucking vacuuming, taking care of the house. Well, you know what? While sustainably, obviously we need a clean house. We can't survive in a disgusting, dirty house. We have to ask ourselves, can this be put to the side for a second so that I can just enjoy my children and be in this fucking moment? That is the lesson. I know it's taken a while for me to get to this point, and I've been long-winded, and if you're still here, I appreciate you sticking with me. There's always a method to my madness. I always get there. But the point is, we have to prioritize and ask ourselves, even in those priorities, can this priority be pushed to the side for a second so that I can just enjoy where I am? Instead of always looking to I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta clean the house, I gotta do the dishes are dirty, look, the sink is piling up, and this and that, whatever. Is it the end of the fucking world if you push it aside for an hour or two to spend time with your children or your spouse or your significant other, or pet your fucking dog and play with your dog, play fetch, take a walk? You know what I mean? We get caught up in every fucking facet of life. We constantly feel as though we need to be moving. That's me too. Hello, hi. It's the whole reason why my production yesterday was slim to none, because I'm constantly moving, that my brain is somewhere else and my body is still here. My body's not moving as fast as my brain is moving, and I'm doing things with my hands that my brain's not really involved in at the moment. And because of that, I'm fucking losing track of shit, of equipment. You know what I mean? Like, what if I lost a mixer? What if I lost a camera? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? That's expensive, and that's monetarily expensive, but also expensive when it comes to time. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is, we have to fucking relax. Just sit back, be human for a second, and realize that even our laundry can wait. It can fucking wait. Ask yourself the question, genuinely, like, reverse engineer it. If I don't do laundry right this very minute, and I just sit down and put my phone away, because sometimes we get fucking caught up in that too, in the phone shit on TikTok, and we get caught up in rabbit holes where we're not actually spending time with people and important people in our lives, right? If I just put my phone away for a second and take this laundry that I know, yes, needs to be fucking done, and just put it to the side for a second, an hour, 2 hours, and I take that hour, 2 hours, and watch a movie with my family, or I take that hour and 2 hours and fucking meditate and read a book for myself, would it be the end of the world if I then revisited this laundry that needs to be done? And I think I heard a really good piece of advice. Somebody said, I forget who it was, a YouTuber, who said, if you have a task that can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it right then and there. If it's a small task, like, let's say you have a couple of clothes that you've already folded that you need to put away or something like that. I'm sorry for the clanking in the background. Deborah just, she's Italian. I really don't know what to tell yet. Anyway, if you have a task that can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it right then and there. If you have clothes that are lying on a bed that are already folded, that just simply need to be put in one simple drawer or a couple of drawers, all you got to do is just put them away. And it's not a pile of fucking clothes that's going to take you 10 minutes to do. If you can do it in 2 minutes or less, do it right then and there. It gets rid of that little small task, right? So I try to live by that, where if I see, a couple of articles of clothing folded on my bed or my chair, instead of just kind of walking away from it because I don't feel like doing it, it'll take 2 minutes. It's a small task, whatever. If the dishes, for instance, like what Deb was just doing just now, if the dishes take 2 minutes, if it takes 2 minutes to unload the dishwasher, fucking do it right then and there, right? And then you're done with it. You don't have to worry about it. And then once you're done with those small little 2 minute or less tasks, the ones that take longer, you fucking push to the side for a second and spend time with family and yourself, even, people that are fucking important. And I think that is the lesson for this week from yesterday, is to just slow down, wake up and smell the coffee and enjoy it. Take it in. Be present in the moment. Because when we're not present in the moment, our brain is one place and our body's another place, and we're not centered. That's not being centered, obviously. You're all over the place. You're actually counterproductive that way. There's so much I can say. There's a book that I'll link below. It's called A 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And if you've never heard of him, he's an entrepreneur, but he's also just a motivational speaker. He's just an all-around smart guy, very philosophical. And he always says, it's that phrase, work smarter, not harder. And his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, think about it. One whole week, you work 4 hours, but you're doing what you love and you're making a living from it in 4 hours a week. What is that? 7 days a week, 5 days a week. That's less than an hour. In a 5-day work week, that's less than an hour a day that you're working, And so this idea is that we don't need to constantly be on the go. We just have to be smarter about what we're doing and prioritize more and be centered. And so if you take nothing else from this fucking episode, just know that whatever it is you're trying to do in life or be in life, slow down. Faster isn't always better. More isn't always better. Slow the fuck down. And that's that. Today's word of the day, if you've listened up to this point, the word of the day is, let me think, I'm trying to look around and see. The word of the day is llama. Llama is the word of the day. If you've listened up to this point, comment below, fucking DM me on TikTok, comment on a TikTok of mine, just that word, and I'll know that you've listened to this episode to the very end. Thank you so much again to my patrons, the people who are supporting the podcast and this channel. Thank you for bearing with me on this journey. I love you guys very much. There is much more to come in the future when it comes to this channel, when it comes to my Patreon and things I want to do for you guys. I have not forgotten about anybody. I'm just, again, trying to get my ducks in a row. And I thank y'all. I thank you guys for your generosity, your thoughts, your gifts, donations, everything that you guys have done. Y'all give me hope on this journey. So don't forget that. I love you all. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a video for you tomorrow too. I love y'all very much. Until next time. Peace out, everybody.